Picture this. You're in a dark room, music surrounding you, people singing passionately to songs they love, friends and strangers applauding and cheering. Call me naive, but I love karaoke. Every time I have the chance to do it, I sing Out Here on My Own from Fame. Since I was little, I've loved this song. As a young person finding my voice, as an adult striving to launch ideas, I've also felt vulnerable and alone. Yet like the girl in the song, I trust in the clarity of my vision. And that's actually what I'm here to talk about today. All my life, I've been thinking and working around this question. How do we find and stay true to our own sense of direction? This question has never been more critical because the world of work is changing. We used to stay in our jobs for decades. Now we're moving in record time from position to position, or, as is more and more the case, working on our own. More than 30% of Americans are working independently, and that number is expected to double by 2025. But while the professional economy is progressing, we as individuals are suffering. Anxiety, isolation, and depression are at record highs. Suicide is up, and job engagement is down. A recent Gallup poll showed that less than 30% of American employees are enthusiastic about or committed to their work. And this disengagement starts even earlier, in classrooms and on college campuses, where nationally close to 50% of students are not graduating in 4 to 6 years. We are in a brave new world, and we are not prepared. Maybe you are one of those 54 million independent professionals, or you're aspiring to be. Are you a freelancer or consultant, an artist or an author, an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur? This is about you. Maybe you're planning your next job change or looking for ways to advance within your organization. Or you're entering the workforce or re-entering it, maybe even getting ready to leave, looking for that next chapter. You, yes, all of you, this is about you and the emerging workers who will be joining you soon. Here's what I believe it takes to be successful in this new world of work. We need to be self-led. I've spent years studying, facilitating, and promoting self-directed leadership because self-direction is not the given we often assume it to be. We are trained out of it very early on. Where we need to be intrinsically motivated, we're encouraged to seek external rewards. Where we need to be setting the course, we learn to follow others' direction. Where we need to be singing the melody, we are waiting for others to lead. And yet, it's this ability to be self-led that allows us to persist and advance within organizations or outside of them. And it can be cultivated, developed, taught. Here's how. First, we need to each understand the competencies associated with self-directed leadership. To be self-led, you need a potent vision. You need to build a powerful capacity to imagine possibility at every turn. See it in each person, in each interaction, in your own plans for the future, and in yourself. It requires bold action, kind of like grabbing the mic in a karaoke bar. You need to be able to realistically evaluate risk, build a tolerance for vulnerability and failure, and a willingness to take leaps both large and small. It's essential that you know and tell your authentic story. What is it that's brought you here? What are your unique capacities that have led you down this path? And what do they offer those who work with you? You need to be purposeful in your communications, strategic and thoughtful in building community, interacting with clients and collaborators, and building peer networks and support. Like an entrepreneur, you need to seek perpetual growth. Often for your tasks and your projects, but always in your capacity to lead those efforts sustainably and satisfyingly. Finally, and fundamentally, being self-led requires radical self-awareness, an extreme, rigorous, and thoroughgoing examination of self. Because self-led work is personal. It's not just work. It's an expression of being, of soul, of self. Not in a find your bliss, live your passion sort of way, but deeply and essentially, where knowing and expressing yourself is a means to connect practically with the world around you. To address this cultural crisis of self-direction, we need to create environments where these competencies can flourish, spaces that invite their members to be fully present, to make meaningful connections, and to tie personal learnings with practical outcomes. Imagine if schools alternated book reports with personal stories, replaced worksheets with reflective journaling, and closed each day with peer discussion groups. Imagine if employers and co-working spaces replaced some of the networking happy hours and status updates with shared learning journeys and facilitated dialogue. And imagine if we could each experience school and work and even karaoke in this way, as an opportunity for bold action, authentic storytelling, and radical self-awareness. Khalil Gibran said, "Work is love made visible." We are witness right now to the largest exhibition of personal voice in history, with more independent journeyers, more directions being set than ever. Let's see the potential in this moment and direct ourselves toward a future where we can all thrive. Thank you.